Okie dokie. For real now this time. In an effort to try to make this screen less busy than it usually appears, I'm once again foregoing having the stream goals on screen.
Less busy.
Son of a bitch, I knew that was going to happen. I did consider playing, oh, what is it? Diablo 4. I considered playing Diablo 4, but I decided against it because I don't want to make myself actively miserable. Oh, right. I should unmute the video game so you can actually hear the game. We will go... Guardian. Why not? The censorship thing for this game is odd, considering it censors some letters so it looks more... what's the word? More inappropriate, but then you got guys like Asta here, and it's just like, that one slipped through, huh? I don't know if I'm ever actually going to escape the jail that is level 2 Deep of Night, but by God, I want to try. Also, I was really feeling iffy on what to actually play today, so you're suffering with another Nightreign run from me. Until I decide to play Path of Exile 2 in a minute. Maybe I shouldn't have this thing downloading while it's doing this. Another game I considered playing today, but I more or less decided against, was I was going to play... I thought about playing one of the various new Doomses. Primarily in an attempt to knock some of the rust off, if I do wind up playing it when we hit 50 followers. Since I put forward the notion that 2016 is one of the best games I've played. But I kind of don't want to play it twice in like a month. Although I might do that anyway. Oh, come on. This guy's a better Guardian than I am. We should just bring him onto the team. I don't think he'd do any worse than I'm presently doing. Fuck! I need to decide whether or not I'm just cool with the swearing or just try to never swear. I more or less don't care, but I find myself annoyed by my own flip-flopping. Yeah, well, that's something to decide later on. It took one hit, just one hit, and I was down instantly. Based on the rumor mill, I wonder if there even is going to be any more DLCs or anything for Nightreign. Man, I hope there is. This game's good. I don't think they should just abandon it. Actually, I guess it's not really abandoning since it's just now celebrated a year or so. I hate the fact that I want to look cool. I want to feel cool, like I'm doing well in this game, you know? I know no one but me cares, but it's like I want to not look like I'm bad at video games. Fuck out of here. Piece of shit bat. I really wish Asta died closer to us. Damn it, I was going to try to save him. I ran into that. I ran headfirst into that. Why would I do that? I don't know why I'm doing so poorly recently. Hey. I love the fact that Steam notifications don't show up in OBS. That was like my biggest worry slash complaint with recording footage through NVIDIA. Every single like Steam screenshot, trophy, etc. would just pop up. And it's like, no, I don't need people to know that I took 5,000 screenshots. That's only slightly an exaggeration. I wonder if my little profile picture, if my little picture there is going to get me in trouble with the bots. Did I get the experience off of that? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I'm feeling it's all uphill from here. I did very poorly against this particular guy, so clearly from here on it's all just uphill. I really wish I could use this bonfire. Get back my money. Let's see. Y'all need Jesus. Let's go to church. I really want them to put out more DLC and so on for this game, just because I'm a selfish man. I want to see more bosses and so on from Dark Souls 2. I don't know what exactly they would put in there They can have you fight like 6 pursuers, why not? I don't believe I even modified my little stream tags here, but oh well. I'll save that change for when I die. Where even? Okay, I'm nowhere close to anything. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. What happened here? Okay, sorry about that. For some reason, OBS slash the stream just decided to just die for no good reason. It recovered like instantly, but still for like a good 10 seconds, the stream just died. That was weird. That's the first time it's ever happened to me. I should really use... I should have hit any bonfire on the way. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Gargoyle Blackblade. I don't think I should go with that, but going with it anyway. Oh, that was the wrong button. I don't know what it is today. I'm just having like a real devil of a time performing today. Who knows? Just the stretch of bad runs until I eventually get over it and just start doing better, I suppose. Oh, I'm gonna die here. Fuck! There goes all those runes. Oh, that's upsetting. I know it's only like a level or two, but that was mine. That was my money. I'm sad that it's gone now. I wonder if it was BattleNet that caused my stream to die momentarily. I have a running history of that program just fucking me over. Just one of those wonders of technology, I guess. I don't know what it is, I keep yawning today. I guess that's a damning critique of my own streams, isn't it? Oh, well. Well, that just seemed like a waste. Why would you do that? I think if this run goes poorly, I should just try playing as the Wilder or Duchess again. I should have saved that. Yeah, I definitely should have saved that. I knew I needed to heal before I went back in there, but I just went in anyway. You know, given their inclusion of various Dark Souls 1 bosses, I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, okay. I knew that was going to happen, but here we are anyway. Anyway, given their inclusion of Dark Souls 1 bosses in the game, I'm kind of surprised they didn't include Ornstein and Smo in this game. Perhaps it would have been too difficult of a fight to put into this game, the doubles, but I'm just kind of surprised they didn't do it, you know? Ornstein at least, because you've got all these other games that include Ornstein in some capacity. Last Dragon Slayer in Dark Souls 2, Dragon Slayer Armor in 3. I was going to try to say that they put one in regular Elden Ring, but I don't think they did that. I wonder how badly having the door open would affect the audio quality here. I don't want to find out. Trying to think of how many times the Deep of Night actually gave bosses other than Balancers, Dragalord, and Tricephalos. I think I fought the Ice Dragon like once on it. I don't think I fought Maris in Deep of Night even once, which that's fine because I don't like that bastard. Anyway, I'm feeling more confident about this one. I really think I should change the Duchess's costume next time, though. I genuinely have no idea what the hell happened here. We all fell down the hole and just, like, all died somehow. I know that the Duchess is good with knives, but we'll take that. We'll take the lightning sword. Yeah, if it turns out to be a garbage weapon, it's really easy to just drop things. Oh god, I can't believe you guys are alive. Extremely poor planning on everyone else's part. Okay, so it's weaker than the lightning sword, but what if... Yeah, there we go. I gotta tell you, this is pretty terrific. Hey. I was trying to remember if I could have sworn that there was some game or other where one of the main like fighting styles was a combination of a long sword with a short blade. But then I remembered that's not in a game. That was in the First Law trilogy of books. That was the fighting style of a... Oh, what was his name? One of the main characters. I'm presently blanking on his name, and that's unfortunate because I read this book not too long ago. Am I gonna just rattle through every single name of every character in that series? It's not Glocta. Glocta's a cripple. It's not Logan Ninefingers. It's not the Wizard. Fuck, what's his name? I think maybe the son of one of his enemies, Leo Dan Brock, fought in the same style, but I don't remember. Jazal Dan Luther. They made a whole thing in that series about how the officers of the army, they fought with a long blade, short blade arrangement for some tournament or other, but also that was just like their general fighting style. And it just reminded me of that suddenly. You should read those books, they're really good, by the way. At the very least, read The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Although, honestly, that's not even the one I would personally recommend. That's not the one I would personally recommend. If I were to recommend, like, any one of the books on their own, I would recommend The Heroes, which is a standalone novel set in the series after the first trilogy, where it's basically like a multi-perspective tale about the war in the north against the various barbarian tribes from the, enlightened army of the south, basically. It's just a very good book. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh, what's his name? There was this one guy who was like my favorite character in the book. I guess that goes to show how... I was gonna say how memorable he was if I can't even remember the guy who I say was one of my favorite characters. He fought against Bremer Dan Gorst, but... Oh, what's his name? It's bugging me now. It's bugging me that I can't remember the name of this character from a book that I read like 3 years ago. What's his name? It's like right on the tip of my tongue. What the hell is Xiao Zhao doing? Wasn't Kerman Craw. It's not the dog man. Oh, what's the name of the other guy? I'm trying to remember too many character names all at once. Okay, I don't think I can go with the thrusting sword. Anyway, there's this character in The Heroes. He also shows up in the short story collection Sharp Ends, where he's this berserker type who, every time he goes into battle, he goes in with less and less armor. What is his name? This is seriously bugging me now. I know future me is gonna get this, but I want to get it myself. Maybe I'll surprise myself and name yet another, Japanese gravure model. Wouldn't that be a twist? Oh, what's this? Anyway. He's this berserker type who every time he shows up for a fight over the course of the book, he's wearing less and less armor. And he was just a very entertaining character because he was one of these characters who appears outwardly, like, insane. Just like a crazy berserker guy. Lives for fighting. But then toward the end, it turns out that he's actually a lot deeper than anyone really gave him credit for. And then, of course, you got Bremer Gorst, who's apparently just like this big hulking brute of a man that whenever he talks, he speaks with like a high pitch, in the book's own words, like girlish voice. And what is that? He was also in some of the book that came before this, Best Served Cold. Is that the name of it? Huh. Could have sworn that I owned that. Where, someone is trying to kill the King of the Union, and Bremer Gorst is the, you know, the King's bodyguard, basically. But because of various shenanigans, he got, like, disgraced because of what happened at the... They call it Cardati's House of Pleasure. Oh, what's the guy? I'm serious. Okay, I'm not doing this on purpose, but I'm apparently trying to remember like the name of every single character in this entire series all at once. And I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not even going on any particularly deep tangent. I just was reminded, using the longsword short steel dagger combination of the fighting style from that book series. I need to reread Red Country. What? Okay. Guy just teleported away. Mid-backstab, he just teleported away. Well, that's the problem with fighting people just right on the edge of their boundaries, huh? Okay, so the main character, one of the main protagonists of Best Served Cold is Cull Shivers and Monscaro Mercado. Monza. There's Morvier. I didn't care for that guy. He was not a very good character. It's one note. I'm not gonna remember the guy's name, and this is gonna just annoy me. This is just gonna annoy me, because I know that future me, that smug son of a bitch, is going to be like, oh, obviously, it was this guy. It's like, it's not gonna be Kernman Craw, because Kernman Craw is a straight edge. He wants to retire from, you know, the warring life. It's not Cull Shivers, obviously. It's not Black Dow. I say obviously because... I don't know, I want to give you some credit. Maybe you have read this book. Maybe you know exactly who I'm talking about. So, but anyway, one of the funnier things that happens in the book is the older berserker guy who goes into battle with less and less armor is he creates a sandwich, basically. And he's just like, look at that, isn't that impressive? Everyone's just like, man, shut up. Black Calder. I need to reread Red Country. It's the 6th actual book in the series in the world of the First Law that I read once, and it just made me seriously depressed. Which might very well have been the point, but it was just a very depressing read. And on the outside, it doesn't really seem like it would be. But that's the thing about literature and books and so on. It gets you when it gets you. How it gets you. I thought for sure he was going to explode outward. But yeah, the second trilogy of books, they're not really a trilogy, they're 3 standalone novels. Where you have Best Served Cold, which is a revenge story about Monscaro Mercado, who was betrayed by her boss because he thought for sure she and her brother were going to betray him to try to, you know, take power for themselves. That had an interesting twist. Then you have The Heroes, which is a standalone story about the war between the northern clans and the Union, which is basically like a stand-in for fantasy pre-industrial England. One of the things that happens in... I don't think it's in Red Country, I think it's in the sequel trilogy, The Age of Madness, is... Okay, so in the first trilogy, there's a... In the background of the series, there's like a setup for an ongoing conflict between the Union and the Gurkish Empire, Gurkul, the Empire of Gurkul. You know, a fantasy Middle Eastern country. And there's all sorts of little, like, tidbits about the Gurkish Empire, including the fact that they employ people called Eaters, which are magic-using cannibals, basically. I just had to look and make sure that I was actually unmuted, because I would have been tremendously embarrassed again if I did not unmute. But there's stuff in the book, in the first 3 books, about how the Turkish employ this group of people called Eaters, which are all, you know, magic-using cannibals who can also, like, body snatch people, basically. So they can basically, like, take on the form of more or less anyone to be able to achieve their goals. And some of the various Eaters show up throughout the various books. The first one that ever shows up is taking on the guise of a little girl, because she's there to kill one of the main characters of that trilogy named Plakta, who is a member of the Inquisition. And they're sending him there to Gurkul to more or less try to establish a good resistance against the Gurkish, because the Union doesn't want to lose it, because one of the leaders of the country he really wants them to hold on to it. Don't remember that guy's name either. It's kind of a spoiler, though. And throughout the various other books, there are scenes that include various eaters in various rungs of society that interact with the protagonists of a given novel at a time. Oh, what's his name? I'm blanking now. Again. I'm blanking again. But, like, one of the people who's the assistant to a wizard named Baez is secretly one of the eaters. I don't remember that guy's name for the life of me, but where his story goes is quite good. We're just gonna drop the hammer. But throughout the first 3 books, you have a couple of eaters that show up over the course of the narrative to basically like hassle and harass the protagonists as they're trying to achieve their goals, including a very good chase sequence in the Tower of Chains, which is a magically sealed, well, tower where they're keeping the body of an ancient wizard's daughter sealed away. And then in the sequel trilogy, I don't... Oh wait, no, he does show up. There is an eater. I was about to say, I don't think any of the eaters show up in Best of Cold, but that's not true because one of the main, like, supporting characters is an eater who is tracking down the main character, Monskaro, and her party for seemingly unknown reasons. And he's one of the more memorable characters because he's trying to, like, justify his, you know, murderous, cannibalistic ways to basically his wife. And eventually what winds up happening with that character is really interesting, but that's neither here nor there. Then you have, in the next book, you have Ishri, who is a magic eater who wants to help the leader of the barbarians, Black Dow. And when things start going against her, she tries to manipulate other characters into basically being her patsies, more or less. I don't even know if this katana was a good thing to equip. Maybe it'd be better off if I just gave it to the executor. But we have it equipped now, so gonna just keep it on. Doing better than the lightning sword anyway. Oh, come on. Son of a bitch. I recalled in the book, the way they described Ishri was basically she was just, like, sort of covered, like, head to toe in, like, bandages. like, it didn't say necessarily that was the case, but I imagine it was sort of like gauze. Just sort of covering her head to toe. You know, like a bad mummy. But, she shows up because, you know, some of the other characters on the Union side also have eaters. And so she's trying to, you know, press gang the various northern tribes into accepting her help. I don't remember if there is anything done with the character Stranger Come Knocking, but that's kind of incidental to the point. I'm just trying to recommend these books. But, the 6th book, Red Country, is a story about this character named Shy South, who her brother and sister are kidnapped one day by by a cult of dragon worshipping weirdos, basically. And they more or less are trying to convince these kids that, you know, you should stay with us, don't go back to your family. And the other character, one of the other main characters, is a character named Temple, who is basically just like a cowardly man who had previously worked for a soldier, the leader of a mercenary company. Oh, what's his name now? You know, the leader of a mercenary company who hired him to basically be his biographer. And, I don't know, I read the book and it just made me incredibly sad. Maybe it's because the book is more or less just like a send-up of westerns. And so it was kind of about how basically, you know, the end of the Wild West. You know what? Here you go. Enjoy that. Or no. I don't care. That's between you. That's between you and yourself. But, it made me really sad reading this book. And I haven't read it again, which I really should, because I've read these books, with the exception of Red Country, like 3 to 4 times each. I even read Sharp Ends more than once, and that's just like a short story collection that's fine. Oh, come on, man. You really want to go into that? So yeah, then you got Sharp Ends, which is set between... I want to say it's set between the heroes and Red Country, but that's me just... I don't know that's actually the case. And then you have the Age of Madness trilogy, which is set in the equivalent of the Industrial Revolution, where there's you know, the Industrial Revolution's going on, worker strikes are going on, and the bosses are just like, we need to keep the peasantry down. Which goes about as well as you'd think, because in the next book, The Wisdom of Crowds, yeah, the first book is... No, what is the first book? The second book is The Trouble with Peace. Third book is Wisdom of Crowds. So the first book is something. It's definitely got a title, I know that much. Why do I not own the first book in that series? What the hell am I doing? I think it's in the first book, whose title I don't remember. I'm doing a great job of being able to recommend these books. There's the event that causes basically the entire peasant class to rise up against the nobility, royalty, etc., called the Great Change. Where you basically get to see like the entire like start of the peasant revolt from the perspective of like multiple temporary point of view characters. He's been doing this, Joe Abercrombie's been doing this a lot recently in some of his newer books, where he includes just like one chapter that just switches from perspectives from like character to character in quick order, which I think works really well because a lot of the time this is meant to be just sort of like wildly disorienting. Like in the Heroes, the part that this happens in, other than some of the battle scenes, is when Baez is testing cannons, basically. You get to see from the perspective of like 4 separate characters when the cannons are first used. I don't know if there's actually like a difference between the demon in pain or the other demon. If you kill one in this, if it becomes the other one. I remember in Dark Souls 3, you know, you kill the demon in pain, he becomes the demon of lasers, basically. The other one gets fire meteors. Oh, that's a great way to describe it. Well done. Well done, you. I just don't remember if that particular change is in this game or not. I don't think it is. I think you're gonna get both either way. You know, the meteors and the laser. I should have just kept the Rivers of Blood. I shouldn't have switched to the sickle knife. Oh, right. I completely forgot that I had the Cinquedea that I wanted to use. I was needlessly nerfing myself here. Like, I recall when I was reading The Wisdom of Crowds, I recall really liking that one. It wasn't quite as, like, in the weeds as The Trouble with Peace, but it was interesting because of how fast-moving the plot was regarding the, you know, the uprising and all the portrayals that come with that. There's a character in the Age of Madness trilogy who was in Red Country, who's a biographer of sorts. Not the same biographer as the one in Red Country, who's like a separate character. I think he was the new character to travel around with the mercenary leader once our protagonist Temple went off to go be part of the book. I don't remember his name for the life of me. Don't remember the names of basically anyone from the Age of Madness for some reason. I don't even remember the name of the main character, and that's annoying me. I don't know why I keep getting so annoyed that I don't remember the names of characters from things I read 2+ years ago. For fuck's sake. But, you know, here we are. That's just what happens. I mean, I could look it up, obviously, but... You know, the second I alt-tab away, that's when I'll get, like, hit back up. Like, I wonder if Zandil's name here actually means anything, or if it's just, like... he more or less just keyboard smashed. I don't know. I just realized that the guy's name is probably just Andy. God damn it. I should probably make sure I didn't play that on stream, because that could have ended really badly. Okay, so... Wow, heroes, really. Just tell me the names of these characters. That's all I want to know. Like, I know what the deal with Beck was, but it's like, I didn't care about that stupid character. We're doing one more, by the way. You may have noticed. Bouncers again. We'll go Duchess again. Okay, so the name of the barbarian guy I was thinking of, his name is Weirin of Bly. Because I lied when I said I wasn't going to look it up. Will I remember the name of the guy from Red Country before I look it up? I suppose he's also in... Blah. Best Served Cold. That's the name of the book. Nikomo Casca. Casca was such a great character. He was such a revolting piece of shit. Like, the main character in the Age of Madness trilogy, he was named after one of the other major characters. I think the guy they were trying to get revenge on in Best Served Cold, whose name I'm blanking on. Have you noticed a theme here? But I just recalled reading The Wisdom of Crowds, I'm not even going to look up what the name of the first book in that trilogy is. I'm going to try to remember it on my own. And, just being, like, really impressed by how tightly woven the narrative was. But if you've only got the time / patience to read one, I recommend either The Blade itself, which is the first book of all the books, or The Heroes. You could probably get by with Best Served Cold just because, you know, it's more or less a standalone novel, just like The Heroes. But, you know, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, you must read it in order. These are deliberately standalone books, so you can get away with reading, you know, Best Served Cold, The Heroes, and then going back. I, of course, wouldn't recommend doing, like, before they're... Is that what it's called? Before they're hanged, or the other one, before doing The Blade itself, but, you know, you do you, man. Let's go kill this bug. Is he gonna be on this side? Where are you? Ah, man. Silver Bull got to him before me. We'll go with that. I honestly think people are a bit too up in arms over the appropriate canon order of things. I mean, I of course have the belief that you should start a series at the start, but it's like, if you want to just, you know, watch the newest whatever, play the newest whatever, fuck, man, you do you. It's entertainment, not homework. There was, I was asking people about which books to read first in the Nasuverse, you know, Tsukihime, Witch of the Holy Night, and so on, which I should read first. So I guess I'm kind of guilty of doing this myself. But this guy was just like, oh, well, clearly what you gotta do is you gotta read, I think it was Witch on the Holy Night, and then you gotta watch all 10 Kara no Kyokai movies, and then you gotta play Tsukihime, and then you gotta do this, and that, and this, and then maybe you can play Fate Stay Night. And it's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to engage with 10 movies worth of stuff that I don't care about just because I want to read Tsukihime. Of course, I think if you do things like that, you kind of forfeit your right to be able to complain about things not making sense, but, you know, that's kind of a whatever. But, you know, it's entertainment, it's not homework, because, like, if you want to only play, to pick a random example out of completely nowhere, Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, just play it. Who cares if you've never played the earlier Ys games? Who cares if you didn't play the Oath of Felghana, or Origins, or any of the ones with bumper combat? If you want to play the newest one, just play the newest one. Who cares? Because despite the way I may act about the story of things, looking at you, Diablo, these aren't necessarily being written for the long-term, like, diehard fans, you know? Eventually, they're gonna try to just, like, get new people in. We're gonna get new people in the door. We're gonna make people play East 10 Nordics or Monstrum Nox. Basically what I'm saying is every single person that told me that I have to play like 5 separate games in order to play Trails of Cold Steel, I need them to either fuck off or just stop talking. Preferably both. I don't think I'm going to lose anything if I play the spin-off game first before I play the main game that I have zero interest in. Like, I'm sure that there's going to be, like, references in Trails of Cold Steel that's like, did you know this happened in Trails in the Sky? And it's like, okay, cool, that's good for them. I hope those people love it. But it's like, I don't necessarily want to do that. If I play Fate Stay Night, I think I know what I'm getting into. I know I'm going to be missing some deep lore, air quotes, because I didn't read Tsukihime. But then again, I'm already lost in terms of what's going on with Tsukihime because I've played Melty Blood. But then again, you have these people who are just like, I don't know what the correct canonical way to experience the thing is. And it's like, just go with release order. That's all it is. That's all you should ever do. You don't need to go Metal Gear Solid 3 to Ground Zeroes to Phantom Pains. Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, NBA 2K14. Peace Walker's in there somewhere. Yeah. Okay, give me that. Did I not buy that? It is done. I was too busy ranting, and I accidentally didn't buy the helmet, the Mimic mask. Oh, of course, that's what happened. I need to just quit coming down to the basement. It never works out for me. Of course, maybe I should get rid of my curse sword and just stick with daggers. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But to use Fate as an example, I don't think you're really going to be losing much plot-wise if you just play Fate Extella and you didn't read Fate Grand Order, Fate Stay Night, Fate Hollow Ataraxia, and so on. You know? I don't think you're going to be losing that much story-wise if you play Samurai Remnant first. Maybe I'm wrong. like, I'm almost certain that no one, except for, like, the most hardcore of, let's be honest, just dorks who play video games actually give a damn about canonical orders. You really think that, like, the millions of people who play Fate Grand Order are all people who've been with the series for the entire existence of Fate? Because I don't think so. Oh, for God's sake. Or that they know about, you know, Witch on the Holy Night, Tsukihime. What's the name? Like, not Crosscodes, that's a separate series altogether. I just realized I punted a bunch of runes again. Oh, that's upsetting. Should really just give up on this area and just move on. Just move on with my life. What do you suppose the other two letters in DY's name are? What is it that caused the FromSoft Bandai Namco censorship bot to be like, hey, stop it. Stop it, you. Oh, why'd I do that? That was such a waste. I do have to say, though, I'm surprised that not in... Oh, well, fuck you too, Silverbolt. I was just about to praise you for not ditching. Disconnecting. How long until DY does it, I wonder? I gotta be honest with you, I don't even remember why I started talking about that book series. Just completely apropos of nothing, I decided to just bring it up. Couldn't tell you why. I wonder if with his next book, if that's also going to be a series. It took me a while, probably because I was dying at the time, but I read all of the Devils as well. And so it's like, I wonder if that's going to be a series, or if that's just a standalone. I'm kinda not feeling it, though, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Eh, who am I kidding? I'll read it again. That one's actually got, like, straight up fantasy, supernatural shenanigans in it, not just, you know, more or less implied stuff. Not that I guess what happens in the first law is implied, really. What are you doing, Bone? No, I don't think we're gonna make it to past night 1 again. Yep, there it goes. I love it when another player just decides to just rage quit, that you don't actually get penalized for it. Alrighty, well, I am going to wonder why that didn't work immediately. Click back over here. And we're going to do a couple little things just because. We are also going to... I should probably mute myself first is what I should do. This is all very thrilling, I'm sure. Okie dokie. Mute. There was a momentary pause there because for some reason when I was signing in as my monk here, it said that I was suddenly farther in the game than I actually was. And when I clicked on him to start playing as him, it took me to the character creation screen. So I just had to deal with that real quick. Let's see, where were we? Can I recreate the horn of the vestry now? I don't think I can. Also, I apologize in advance when you start hearing all the clicky clacks, because I don't know where to actually put this microphone. But I forgot I need to go get my stuff identified.
How can I advise you?
Let's see. These could be good compared to these Sorrow Grasp, but I don't know if I should use them right now. Well, that's not even mine. I thought that was my town portal for a second. Like, it just seems like I should have more prefixes and suffixes on the Gale Span to justify switching them, you know? Also, whether or not I'm going with Energy Shield or just Evasion. Cold resistance. Okay, no, I don't even know if I should, what type of armor I should go with. I got the rogue armor, that seems pretty good, but it's like, should I go with the Blightjack raiment? I don't know. Upgrade a normal and magic item to rare with 4 modifiers. Don't really have anything to use that on right now, so I should just toss that in the inventory. Let's see here. Upgrade Tempest spell, why not?
Speak up. Stay in sight.
I seriously don't know if I should wear that or not. That might have just been a tremendous waste, now that I think about it. Oh well. Gotta live with your decisions. Oh, right, it was just in the regular leagues that I completely reorganize everything. This is all still a tremendous mess. Do I even have enough spaces to toss these in? Don't think I do. I shouldn't have looked at that orb. Because now I'm thinking about just making a level 8 something. Really seems like I should have a bunch more transmutation shards than I appear to. I don't know what I should do with any of this. Like, I'm curious what the gem cutter prism actually does for skill gems. Quality grants small bonus based on item. Skill gems that grant skills grant a specific bonus to their skill based on the quality. Okay, so don't know if I should just upgrade Herald Vice. Nah, we'll hold off on that for now. Has no more space for mods. Okay. $34 max energy shield, 10% increase energy shield, max life, 6 intelligence. I just don't know if this is a better weapon. Not weapon, armor. Okay, so I can't use that. I'm not a sorceress. Switch these around, and then we'll just toss everything in here.
Speak up, here we are. Here we are. Do not wander.
I don't know if that was a good idea or not. Oh, so I should probably not disenchanted those with Sarka. I should have brought it to the bench. Ah, that's a whoops. Don't remember where to use this. run through Act 1 enough that I can basically just like rattle off what exactly you need to do, but Act 2, no idea. Where are the bone pits? Oh. Makes that a bit obvious, doesn't it? Okay, so southwest. This is kind of not at all related to my little tangent about canon and the correct orders for stories and so on, but I do occasionally think I should look up, at the very least, like a video that tells what happens in Path of Exile 1. Like, I don't think I'm ever actually going to play that, so it's like, the least I could do is look that up. Assuming, of course, there even is enough to justify such a video even existing. But then again, that's the internet for you, isn't it? People will talk your ear off about the lore and plot of literally everything. Well, that guy just had a cool name. He didn't last long at all, but you gotta admit, the Sin Lord was a pretty cool title. blame all my constant yawning on the fact that my nap was interrupted by a relatively bad dream. Then again, I think most people could say I'm pretty justified in being tired at 6 in the morning, but this is just my evening for me. You know what I think they should do with Path of Exile 2, just for no good reason in particular? What if they just completely got rid of all of your skills and so on from the skill tree, and so you had to reset every single one over the course of like half an hour for every character? Wouldn't that be fun? Just have the new update come out and then suddenly everyone has to just like redo literally everything. Definitely wouldn't be irritating at all. I wonder if that annoys people, how probably not centered that is. I apologize if you never noticed it before, now it's gonna drive you insane. But it bothers me. I'm the one that keeps doing the damn thing. It just seems like something I should give a warrior, which I don't have. Given that the new League expansion, however you refer to it, is coming out in slightly over 2 weeks, it's like, I don't think I should really bother creating new characters at this point. I might as well just wait 2 weeks so that way I can just roll them fresh for the Rise of the Ancients, or whatever they're called. I've been obsessively reading everything about the new update, and of course I don't remember what the actual thing is called. Return of the Ancients. You can't prove that I just opened Steam just to find this out. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've multiple times since the announcement considered just like leaving my monk here, Mariah, dead, just more or less deleting him just because of the upcoming ascendancies, the new ascendancy that's coming out. Because if there's just going to be new monk stuff, why not just wait until it comes out so I can play the new monk stuff? Same reason why I'm not going to create a Huntress. It's not the only reason I'm not going to create a Huntress, but you know, for the purposes of this conversation, I'm going to act like this is the one thing that's stopping me from making a Huntress. Damn it. Like, I saw some of the new weapons that are coming for the mercenary, and it's like, I would love to try those. I can try to make a better mercenary than the last time I played mercenary for like 3 weeks. I kind of wish that they put new stuff in for the Ranger, but I don't think they did. I think it was primarily just the Monk and the Huntress that were getting things. New Ascendancy, anyway. Like with the 100 runes, I'm pretty sure there's some stuff in there that would make Ranger much better. I'm excited for the new Return of the Ancients, though. They did their big stream about what's coming to the League, and they've done some videos ever since talking about things that are being added to the League, the expansion in the League itself. And so far, not to just like think about it uncritically, it all sounds, really good. I'm sure if you press the gun to my head, I could think of like 1 or 2 things I don't like about it, but it's a nice change of pace to be able to just look toward a thing you're looking forward to and being like, yeah, it's good. It doesn't necessarily need to be it's good asterisk.
A mighty fall.
You know what I mean? I wonder if, when the expansion comes out, if stash tabs are going to be on sale for any cheaper of a price. Trying to remember offhand. Sorry for the reflective silence there. I'm trying to just remember, like, what I have left to do in Act 2. Gotta make the Horn of the Mystery. Gotta... I'm not going there because I don't need to go to the Abyss again. Because I don't want to once again just say, we're totally going to get to the end of Act 2 this time, guys, I promise, and then we don't because I have to stop in 40 minutes. But I'm just trying to remember, like, what is left in Act 2? I wonder if they made any changes to the, Doriani in Act 3.
Freezing strike.
Of course, I don't know how Act 3 is going to go fighting Doriani, considering I'm playing as a more melee-focused class instead of the Ranger, which has, you know, bows, and so you can put some distance between you. I think it'll be fine. To change topics slightly, we have recently hit 10 followers, so I think that's cool. I honestly never thought I was going to actually get 10 people who willingly liked my stuff. So, since I've hit 10 followers, I want to try to do something to celebrate, and I wanted to let you guys... Please don't be offended if I use the word guys and you're a woman, or if you don't identify as a guy, it's my gender-neutral term. I kind of wanted to celebrate by letting you guys pick a horror game for me to play, because people like their horror games, and so I figured it might be a fun little thing to do to play just some random horror thing I don't even know. I don't know if I'll exactly react to what you're hoping, but, you know, I'm willing to play basically just about anything horror-wise. So far on a Discord, the only game I got recommended was the Outlast Trials, which I don't really want to play that.
Frozen lash.
I didn't like Outlast 1 or 2. But, you know, I'm willing to just play whatever thing you wanted to recommend. We can go retro and play the original Five Nights at Freddy's. Even though I think people have some very good reasons why they don't like that series these days. But, like, the only horror series, like, games I can really think of are, Oh, what? What are you doing? Don't sign me out. Fuck. I don't know why it signed me out. Yeah, for some reason this earlier said I was in Act 3, and when I clicked it, it took me to the creation screen to create either an Eternal League or a, you know, the Legacy of the Ball, or whatever they're called. This league is called. Oh, come on now. Well, this is kind of a... I don't know why it's not wanting to work now, all of a sudden. They don't want me talking about other games, I guess. Or there's just some update and I just didn't notice. Okay. The way he was standing there, I thought the game was crashing again. But the, I've tried to think of some horror games I could play, and the only ones I can really think of are ones like Alien Isolation, Faith the Unholy Trilogy, and maybe either Silent Hill 3 or Silent Hill F. I kinda don't want to play Resident Evil 6 because that is potentially one of my, if we hit 50, gotta play one of my top 25 games ever, which is what, well, Resident Evil 6 is on that list. Let's see, what are some other horror games that I could play? Dead by Daylight count as a horror? I don't know if it does. Like, I know it's got horror guys in it, but, like, does that count? It's not really a spooky game, it's just, it's got the horror icons, and it really pisses me off. Although, who knows, maybe if we hit 40, maybe I'll fall off the wagon and try playing this game again. I am prepared to give myself an aneurysm for your entertainment. God, I haven't even played that game in like 2-3 years. I I know they made a change to the escape mechanic. Previously, it was just like you mash the button and you can maybe break out of the killer's grasp, but now it's like timing based. I don't know how long ago that was. I think around the time I quit playing, they put Alan Wake into the game. I know he's in Phasmophobia now as well, but I think he was also in Dead by Daylight. I don't remember. I know he's there now. That's the...
This trap will only be your doom.
The FNAFs, which are those considered retro now? I have no idea what people consider retro these days, since the series is over 10 years old. Is that considered a retro franchise? But again, I can completely understand why people have a problem with that franchise these days. Not to drag politics into it. I distinctly remember this fight being a lot harder than it was here. Familial Talisman. I do not remember who uses talismans. The witches, maybe? The druids? I don't know.
This will do.
Retrace the legendary Orbal's paths to recreate the Horn of the Vistiri. Okay, so I got that. Where do I need to go to use the relics? Just down below.
Greetings. Do whatever it takes.
These it'll take a bit of my finger.
I will accept this honor.
Oh, right, you use that to break through the sand wall. Am I seriously close to the end of Act 2? I don't remember. Like, I don't think any of these are going to be useful once rotation hits. I shouldn't use magic terms here, but that's all I know. Go away. So it's like, I don't know if I'll actually be able to use any of these items when the new league starts, but it's like, what if I'm able to? I know that I'm... Oh, I don't... Good luck figuring out where the hell I was going with that one. I can't even
draw
use that. I need to
unwanted
use.
attention.
What? Here we are.
What? I need to just quit carrying so many orbs and so on. Oh, I need to go through and actually organize these things. Where do I use the relics? That is an excellent question.
It is time to use the reforged Horn of the Vestiri to open the way through. You have your orders.
Sorry about that. I had a tremendous sneeze just sort of like building up like right then, and so I just knew as soon as I started talking I was going to just destroy my spine in your ear. Things. Okay, well.
Nothing will stand in my way.
I am hesitant to allow you access to Sacred Desha. Fight to the last.
Where is Deshar? Well, so anyway, I do want to thank you for swinging by and watching the stream. I'm sorry that I didn't play Path of Exile for very long today, but I need to... I could probably keep going for a while, but I should probably stop. Anyway, I want to thank you for swinging by. I hope you enjoyed what little there was Path of Exile-wise, and if you're here during the Elden Ring Nightreign tangents, God bless you. But yeah, please give me a follow. I'm really close to being able to get to affiliate. Also, if you want to throw me a subscribe on YouTube, I'm going to count that toward my follower goals here, just to try to pad my own numbers. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.